What if I don't give a feather and I delete? Let me deselect sharp edges, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and delete all these 3 layers. Let me close it. And that's it with the marquee tools. Now let us go ahead and try creating a simple wallpaper using these tools. A very simple wallpaper or a very simple design. I don't have anything pre-planned, so let's give it a try. Let me create a new layer. Let me rename it as border again. Alright, let's select the rectangular marquee tool. You'll have to excuse me if this doesn't come out well, because I don't have anything pre-planned. Okay, so let me fill a stroke. Let me click on stroke. Let me change the color. Click OK. Now let me right click and deselect. Now a selection is made. Now let's use the elliptical marquee tool and then create a new layer. Say circles. Let me rename it as circles. Okay, let me hold the shift key. When I hold the shift key and make a selection, you see the sizes of this selection on all the sides are the same, right? Say, what if I do not hold the shift key and then make a selection? I can make a selection any ways I want to, right? So let me hold shift, make a selection, or let me make multiple selections. Let me hold the shift key. This time when I hold the shift key, it adds a selection. Alright. Alright, so let me fill in a color here. I'm really bad at selecting colors. Let me click fill. Okay, let me right click, and instead of deselecting, let us add a stroke. Let us fill a color in the borders. Let us fill for 1 pixel outside the selection. Change the color to this one, right? And to select this color, when you move the cursor towards the color, you get a color picker, right? So what you can do is you can place right here, right on the color, select, or let us zoom in a little. Before that, let's cancel. Let us zoom in a little, right? Now let's go to edit, stroke, change the color. Let me move this aside. Let me select this color by clicking once. Have a look here. Now this color would change once I click here, right? This color is picked now. Let me click OK. Let me change it to 1 and OK. Alright, so let me zoom back by pressing the Alt key and then clicking. Let me select the marquee tool, right click here and deselect. Let's change it. Let's undo by pressing Alt, Control and Z. Let me fill stroke. Let me add 5 or 4 pixels. Let me click OK. It goes outside. Alright, let me deselect. Let me zoom out. And let me select this background layer, create a new layer about that, and say color. And let's choose light color, and let me fill the color on this layer by pressing Alt and backspace. Okay, I can always go back and change the color. Let me press Control key plus U. That would bring up the hue saturation option, and then let me change the hue. Let me reduce the lightness a little. Let me click OK. Alright, so this is a very simple design actually. Now let me explain to you why exactly we created a new layer. Alright, see, what if I wanna go back and change the color to this particular object? What I can do is I can always go back here to the circles layer. I can select it, and what if I want to delete this particular image? I can always make a selection and delete. And what happens if I do not create a new layer? When you don't create a new layer, what happens is all the images would be on this background. All the changes that you make would be on this background, right? So when I make a selection and delete and deselect, everything is gone, right? Including the background layer, the image, the background layer. So you cannot make any additional changes. Say I use this brush tool here, the brush tool, I select, and when I right click I get the option to increase the diameter, right? And say I want to paint green color. When I paint, and if I want to erase this part, let me say I want to erase this part, only this green color, not the background or not this layer. When I delete, it deletes including the background, right? So let me undo. Alright, say let me create a new layer. Let's not name it right now. Let me select this brush tool and then let me paint. Alright, now I want to delete this area. I can always go ahead and delete. Or if I want to move, I can always select this move tool, select this layer, and then move the object, right? So make sure you create new layers. That would be really helpful for your own, it would be really helpful for you, right? You can go back and make changes anytime you want, and you can save this image as it is in PSD format, wherein it would leave all these layers when you save the file, and when you open it once again you can always see these layers. Let's go ahead and save it and see. Save as PSD file, right? Let me save it on my desktop. Basic tools, let me save it, and let's save it as JPEG also, the JPEG image, JPEG, right? Let me save. Let me increase the quality. Let me click OK. Now let us go ahead and browse the files. To browse the files, there is an additional application which comes along with the Photoshop, which is the Adobe Bridge.